Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, because I don't have a ton of stuff going on and we are currently waiting on a few small parts for the Element before we do the next video for that, courtesy of Max Speeding Rods. I figured, I used to do a lot of topic-based videos to just have content here and there. People enjoy it. Sometimes it's pretty fun to make. So I figured this video would be a decent time to do a topic-based video essentially on like life as a small business owner, a realistic day in the life behind the scenes per se of what goes on, aside from the normal day-to-day where people are working. Because let's face it, especially as a small business owner, especially as somebody as small as me in the automotive performance industry, shoot, even a coffee shop owner such as my mom, who lives out in Missouri, has a nice little coffee shop / lunch joint out there. Sometimes there's just downtime, and this is one of those times, so let's talk about it. So good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'd like to introduce myself because some of the people that may come across this video may just be stumbling upon it based off of the title. So my name is ChrisSadowski. I run a small automotive fabrication shop here in Tempe, Arizona. I like to build cars. I like to do cool stuff. Sometimes we're doing little weld repairs. Sometimes I'm fortunate enough to be working on cool race cars. I myself am a drifter / road racer, primarily drifter nowadays. And so I got into this business by accident. It was merely just right place, right time / product of my environment. Now, give you a little backstory. Basically, I started this YouTube channel about 9 years ago and was doing skateboarding videos with my friends. Moved across the country back home. Didn't have anybody to skate with. Started working on cars because I had that at my disposal, and we built this channel up to where it is so far. And through the years, we have met some very awesome people, done a lot of different jobs. Went from working at Walmart to working at a dealership. I was a barista for a little bit, shout out Dunkin' Donuts. We've kind of job hopped all over. And then at my most recent W-2 job, I worked for a company called Hasport Performance. Now they're the leading manufacturers in the engine mount game for Hondas. So that was a very cool experience, but it caused me to learn how to weld. Now that was self-induced. So I was working initially in social media, and then they moved me to the shipping department. And anybody that's worked in any shipping department can tell you it is boring, it is bland, it is grueling, and I did not like it. I am a person that likes to be in the sunlight. I like to be working with my hands, and let me tell you, just stuffing boxes with paper is not an exciting job. I was going mentally insane, so my coworker was like, hey, come learn how to weld and take some steam out, melt some metal. And that's exactly what I did. I taught myself how to MIG weld in my lunch times. Over the course of time, I moved my way into the metal shop, learned how to do all that stuff, became their basically lead welder for a while, taught myself how to do TIG welding out of necessity so I could start building my own parts for my cars, because at that point I was getting more serious into car building. My cats are going crazy back there, and my dog, so forgive me. I'm trying to use my lav mic to make the audio a little bit better, but fast forward, COVID hits, lose my job, product of the environment. I'm like, well, I'm already taking on side work thanks to a lot of you guys locally at the time. As I had started doing side work out of the yard, you came to me, hit me up, we got you sorted, a lot of exhaust work, especially starting off. That's how I got my stuff going. And then we made the DA bumper bars, the Civic bumper bars, harness bars and stuff, strut bars. And then, fast forward a couple years, and here we are now. Now we're in 2025. I've been doing this since about 2021. Now I have 1,000,001 things to learn as a small business owner, but I kind of wanted to share with you guys what it's been like for me the last couple years, and what we look like on a normal day-to-day. Now I've done daily videos or daily vlogs before where you kind of just hang out with me as I'm doing a relatively normal day at the shop, as much as I can as a solo filmer / worker. But now let me show you the other dark side / depressing side of being a small business owner, and let's get into it. All right, so every business is going to have their slow periods. Let me zoom in all the way here, get you a little better shot. So obviously with doing business comes highs and lows. Now the highs have been pretty high for somebody of my stature. I ended up with a Honda S2000. I've got a very cool drift car. I've gotten to travel a little bit, and the best part is with the line of work that I do is all of my drifting is tax deductible. Now that is a humongous blessing, honestly, because I have an excuse to go spend money on race car stuff and to go to the track. So what could be better, honestly? All right, so let's start this out. Now that you kind of know the backstory, something that people want to know or may have questions about is, how do you get workflow? Now for me, I've gotten pretty fortunate, and a lot of my workflow has been strictly through my YouTube followers that were local and came to me for work, and spread that through word of mouth. And then Instagram as well, posting on Instagram. I should be posting a lot more. Let me tell you, sidetrack here, but social media is a necessary evil, unfortunately. You know, most of my work does come from word of mouth. I don't do any paid advertising, which if I could afford it, I would. But with what I do, it's like obviously things just not cheap. Paid advertising is very expensive, especially on the social media platforms where it's like, you know, $5 a day, $10 a day, whatever you set as your limit and to the reach, and it's not guaranteeing sales by any means. So that's the tricky part. But most of my work flow is organic. So literally just word of mouth and my own posts on social media. So, you know, it is, as small as I am, there is definitely down periods. So I'm in one currently. That's why I'm making this video about this, because I was like, you know, I need a video topic, and I feel like this is a decent one. So here in Arizona this time of year, summer, midsummer, it is not car building season. It is too dang hot, and unless you got money like that, you know, you ain't got AC in your garage, so you're just kind of going out for an hour or two in the middle of the night working. But yeah, so basically this time of year is my slow period per se. Like the last 2 years has been kind of hit or miss. It really kind of just depends. It's like that's the hard part with what I do, being custom. So there's nothing I can really look back on. Like I have records roughly of sales and profits and stuff, but I don't have anything that I can kind of base it off of. Like, oh yeah, last July we did X amount of dollars, so I can kind of expect the same. It's like you don't know who's going to need what when. So in this case, I have been very slow for the last week and a half. And when I get slow, it's like with my line of, for whatever reason, I have the luck of the draw where mine is all or nothing. Like right now, my phone is as dry as bones. Like I have had 2 inquiries the last few days, both of which ghosted me because I gave them a price. It's just, that's the scary part. So in this case, one of the inquiries, I actually had to go out of my way yesterday. I pulled up to the gas station to get some gas, and I happened to see a pretty nice Civic there, and I was like, huh, you know, if I had some more confidence, that's something I lack and that you need as a business owner, I would go talk to that gentleman. And then the person I was with was like, let's go talk to him. So we pulled over by him, they introduced him, and I was like, hey, if you're looking for fab work, I got a guy right here. So I, you know, leaned forward and was like, hey, you know what? I'd love to help you. He's like, oh, do you do roll cages? I was like, absolutely. So it turns out he needs a drag racing style roll cage, which is kind of out of my expertise because of the tooling for it, but mostly also the rules are different. So that's here what I'm doing now. I have my laptop, I have Google open, and in this case I have to look up NHRA drag spec roll cage rules for a 10-second car. Now that's just part of it. You're gonna have to learn. I mean, not all of my stuff is self-taught. Granted, sure, you can go to school for this, but a lot of it, most of it honestly, is stuff you have to learn on the job. So in this case, yeah, now I get to spend some time going through, and I get to learn what the rules are for drag race cages, and then I can get back to that gentleman and hopefully we can make ourselves an appointment and make a sale. So another way that I get inquiries, or another form of inquiries I get, are from people that are out of state. Now in this case specifically, I have a gentleman that's actually stationed in Germany because he is in the Army, but his vehicle is in California. Now he hit me up on my YouTube channel actually on a video that I made about doing a custom cold air intake for a friend of mine's car, asked if he could get one or how he could get a custom one made. So I reached out. Normally doing out-of-state work, unfortunately, in the custom line of work is very difficult, especially for somebody of my size, tooling and skill set, because at the end of the day, if you have enough money and you have enough knowledge, anything is possible. Like with today's technology, something as simple as like, you know, a custom whatever, if you can get access to a chassis nowadays, if you have the skills and the tooling to use like 3D scanners, CAD, like SolidWorks or something, and then you have access to machinery, you can literally do anything. The sky is the literal limit. But in this case, the gentleman wanted cold air intake out of titanium, which is cool because titanium is a higher dollar ticket item. So I'm like, heck yeah, let's get you knocked out. You know, I found a car that I can use to make him the best of my abilities, one that would fit. It's not the exact thing that he has, but very similar setup. So in that case, it's like, you know, I make a sale, so I have to also today send him an invoice that once he pays, I can order the material, get cracking on that, schedule a time to bring that car down. But yeah, so big time social media advocate for getting work. And now I'm not on Google yet because that's another thing. I need to get a separate phone because I don't want my personal phone number being on Google where, you know, I just get random calls all throughout the day. Even if they're business related, I want to have a separate phone for that. So I feel that is a very good tool. I'm not at the shop if I don't have work like days like today, because obviously it costs money to even get down there. So there's no sense in me setting up like a landline, and there's usually pretty decent deals for businesses for like Verizon and stuff. I just got to fit it into the budget, of course. But yeah, that's another form of inquiries that I would like to use is like Google and stuff, but in due time. So that is kind of the, I mean, again, this video is kind of already getting drawn out and rambling a little bit, but I just want to be very forward about what it is actually like doing a day in the life like this, and what you guys can expect if you're looking to become, like, literally anybody that has watched my videos before has asked or may have been interested in how I even do this stuff. So I did have to change my mentality on money when I started doing this. Now, when you start getting in more money, because right now I make like 3 to 4x what I did when I was at my last job. And that's not necessarily to poop on them for what they were paying me, but that's just a reality of like what you can do as a business owner. Now, technically, I don't really pay myself, but most of my lifestyle, the racing and the drifting and the cars, again, tax side of things, I can run it through the business. So it makes it, very easy to just want to go and spend the money. Like, if obviously don't go into debt, but like if you have the money available, it's really easy to just want to go and like bam, 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 let's do this, do that, do that. And although there's time and place for everything, you can't just be running rampant. So I've had to change my mentality on my spending. So you have to be able to prepare. Now, any normal Facebook group, any business guru that, in a perfect world, I've seen in this industry specifically, gentlemen looking or people looking to get into what I do, they'll post on a Facebook ad or a Facebook forum, and they'll ask, hey, I'm looking to go out on my own. I've been doing side work for a while, and, how do I do it? And again, everybody's route is going to be different, everybody's journey or whatever. But the answer always seems to be, if save up, and so that way you can pay yourself for a year and pay all your bills for a year, etc., stuff like that. Now, obviously, that's a perfect scenario. Like, if you're making that good of money and whatever, if you can do it, by all means. But people are talking about saving 60 to 150 grand to basically prepare for the worst, that you're not going to make a single sale or get a single job for like a year straight. Now, that's just not a realistic expectation. Somebody like me who lost their job during COVID and has rolled with the snowball of what I'm doing ever since, I am literally knocking on doors trying to open the right ones. I have learned to network, and I'm still working on that. I have learned to come out of my shell. You have to be a lot more social, and that's a difficult part for me. And you just have to kind of learn how to do your job in the first place. I mean, I get asked all the time when I tell people what I do, did you go to school for this? It's like, no, school will not teach you how to build a turbo system. School will not teach you, in most cases, how to build a roll cage, because on top of having the fabrication knowledge, which is an endless book, you have to know the mechanical knowledge behind all of it. So that's where all of this gets so hard. It's like, if you want to do it, it's one of those things you have to jump into it. And this is the same to say, with any other form of business, like just in a realistic, normal person scenario, if you don't have a ton of money, I mean, I literally had a couple $100 leaving my last job to start all this, and I believe I got lucky with that first bumper bar that got me even to this point. But you just got to make it work for you. You got to want it bad enough. You just got to put in the hours. Nowadays, because I'm slowly getting to a point where I can kind of make a schedule roughly for my day-to-day. Like, I can wake up at this time, work this time, go home at this time. But up until this point, and even after this point, I already know. I've had to do so many days where I am up at the butt crack of dawn and I'm getting home very late at night, because especially as a sole proprietor like me, it's just me doing the work. Like, sometimes you just have to work until the job is done. And a lot of people, are intimidated by that fact. But again, backtrack to what I just said a moment ago. Like, don't have these crazy realistic or crazy high things of like, I need 100 grand to be able to start doing this. Started going on a tangent there. Had to cut myself off because it was starting to not make sense. I mean, realistically, I'm just kind of making this video to kind of explain to you guys that it's okay, and it's very scary. Now, I thankfully have booked up 2 jobs this week for the end of the week. But here we are on a Wednesday, and it is 10:20 in the morning, and I've been twiddling my fingers for like 5 days now. Granted, we just had 4th of July, so I think a lot of people were out of town and spending money on vacations. So cars are secondary to vacations in what I do. So it is scary. Again, like here, I have to do a bunch of research on this roll cage stuff, and I have to look into buying the equipment that I need, because I have the tube bender and stuff, but I need a different size die for this, which I got to look up. I think it's about $400, and then it's about a month out because it is a made to order item. So that's the other downside of kind of doing what I do, is sometimes you just got to freaking wait. Time sucks. Billing is a tricky one. I've just found a relatively happy medium of like, I'm not the cheapest guy around, which deters a lot of the bad customers, but I'm not the most expensive guy, which stops me from getting all the work. Finding my place in the world, but I think I'm doing okay where I'm at. It's just a matter of, obviously, like I mentioned before, my marketing. I need to do better marketing. But yeah, pricing, for those who may be curious, yes, I am $100 an hour plus material and consumables. And the reason I bill materials separately as well, I mean, it's no different than like an auto mechanic who's going to bill you for your parts separate. With what I do, there's certain materials I can get maybe a better price on, like my exhaust components and stuff I do get better pricing on, but any other normal thing, they don't really do like wholesale accounts. Like my roll cage material, as far as I understand, my local metal supplier does not give discounts. You can set up an account with them, but that's more to keep track of your sales, your purchases, and you can get deliveries if you pay X dollar amount of, or you buy X dollar amount of material. So material is always billed separately, because you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this for $1,000, and then material ends up being an unknown like 600, and then you spent 10 hours doing something and then you make $400 on it. It's like, yeah, it sucks. But also with the pricing aspect, I also want to, talk really quick on like the small stuff. Like I love doing the small jobs because that's quick lunch money. It's in and out, whether it's a welded diff or a wheel repair or whatever. But the only downside is being somebody that's my size is when I get those things and I don't have anything else scheduled for that day, it makes it difficult to take it on per se, because like my shop minimum is $75, because that's like bare minimum what I need to make to be able to just drive down there, turn the lights on, and drive home after completing some form of a task. Now obviously if you just need like 2 fittings welded onto a valve cover or something and I'm already there, I charge a bit less unless I have to supply the fittings. I've had quite a few people that hit me up for just tiny stuff where it's like $50, and I'm just like, I mean, if you can't bring it like on this day that I have something else scheduled, like unfortunately I'd be losing money just by showing up to do that task and then go home. Like it's not worth it, because in my case I live about 30 minutes from home, 25 minutes, sorry, not from home, from the shop. So it does cost quite a bit of money to just operate the business, just to even show up. But you get what I'm saying? Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of rambling and I kind of have run out of things to say. And I don't know, I hope some of you found this video interesting. Maybe it was just a way for me to talk to something so I feel better about myself in my slow period right now. But no, I do hope that a couple of you may have found it interesting, understanding like that this is kind of like the day in the life behind the scenes of a normal operating businesses. Yeah, now because I have downtime, unwarranted at that, I now have to do all this side quest work to be able to figure out how to get my next jobs, look into scheduling, billing, equipment, rules, regulations for stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, lots of trade-offs, but wouldn't change it. I love it. It's easy to get burnt out, so don't let yourself do that. Surround yourself with good people if you're looking to do this, any line of business, but just jump in. Honestly, it's 2025, man. Just jump in, just do it. If you want to do the thing, do the thing. Even if it's a side hobby, or not hobby or whatever, if it's a side hustle and you want to take it full time, there's no right time. You just have to do it. Honestly, don't listen to what the internet tells you. Take it from me, a kid that came from literally pennies between paychecks to now, I don't have much more stuff, but whatever, we're getting there. But we're doing okay. We have a roof over our head. We have our own shop. We have a drift car, and we're doing okay. So we haven't gone without. We may not have extra, but we're only 4 years in. World's your oyster. So anyways, guys, thanks for spending some time out of your day hearing me ramble, and I'm going to edit this video up. I'm going to do some research on these NHRA rules and figure out how to get this job in. So do what you love, forget the rest. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.